All right, you may bring in the jurors. Welcome back. You may be seated. You're still under oath. You may continue your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Aronstein, at the time of the break, we were just referring to an audio interview that you did with Sarah Youngs over the phone. Do you recall that?
I do.
I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 90. Do you recognize that?
Appears to be a recording
Is
of
it-
Young's.
And that is Sarah Youngs?
That's correct.
Okay. And at the time that you received recordings into evidence, is that then turned over to the parties for purposes of discovery?
It does.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move for the admission of exhibit number 90 and ask if we could play that to the jury. I would note we did speak to defense counsel at the break, and we're actually going to be stopping it at 8 minutes and 37 seconds.
Your Honor, knowing with your previous ruling, I still have a standing objection, but I understand your previous ruling and they'll be allowed to be played.
All right, your objection is noted. You may play the tape.
I appreciate you calling me back. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. So I'm a detective with the sheriff's office, and I'm just getting my paperwork out here. I understand that you worked with a lady by the name of Victoria Prokopovitch some years back over at Superons in Pulaski.
I did,
Do
yeah.
I have the right person here on the line?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I'm the detective that's assigned to investigate her disappearance. You're aware that she's been missing for a number of years?
Mm-hmm.
So your name came up because you did work with her at one point in time or another, and the information that we got is that you guys were friendly with one another. Do I have that correct?
Yep.
And did any officers or detectives ever speak with you up until today?
No. No.
Okay. And so, just briefly, so I know a little bit, you worked for Superons. Do you currently work there?
No, I do not.
Do you remember what years you worked there?
I worked there for 16 years.
16 years, my goodness.
No. 16, yeah.
16, yeah, that's what I heard. When did you start? Do you remember what year?
Oh my gosh. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
Do you remember when you stopped?
Yeah, it's been 2 years. April will be 2 years that I haven't worked there.
Okay, so 2017 you quit?
Yep.
And you were there 16 years. That makes it easy.
Yep.
So you were there when Victoria worked there. Do you remember when Victoria worked there?
I don't. I'm sorry. I have such a bad memory.
That's okay. I have a pretty crappy memory too. Do you remember when she went missing?
Oh my gosh. Hasn't it been like 5 years? I don't know. No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you remember if she was working at Superons when she went missing?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. And can you tell me when she did work with you, did you guys do anything outside of Superons together?
The only thing we really did is we would, if she was depressed or feeling lonely, we would go for rides in cars. She liked going for rides. We'd just bum around in the car and listen to music and talk.
Sure.
That's about all we really did together. I would go and sit by her house and talk with her, so.
And where did she live at the time?
For a while she was living in Pulaski, in a house on Pulaski Street.
Mm-hmm.
And then she moved out to the other house here in Pittsfield. I don't know the address or anything though.
So
That's
after...
from where she disappeared then.
I see. After she left Superaz, did you maintain contact with her?
Briefly, we would call each other every now and then. The last, which it just kills me, the last time she had called me, she had left a voicemail on my phone, and she said, "Hi Sarah, it's Victoria, just me, I just want to talk to you and give me a call." And I didn't return her phone call for a while. You know, you get busy and you just forget stuff and whatever. And then she went missing. And it breaks my heart, it kills me, because then I never talked to her again.
How about prior to that? How long had it been since you talked to her?
Oh, God. That I couldn't even tell you. I don't even remember. Probably like a month or so before that. I can't even tell you that.
Sure. So you said that sometimes she would get depressed or lonely. Can you tell me about that? What would she ever talk to you about? What was depressing her?
She had issues with just her health, and when she was in Pulaski Street, she had stuff going on. She thought the house was, I don't know, something with the house, and it was making her health worse, and I don't know, she's had a lot going on, and I don't know. The last time I talked to her, which I don't know when it was, she said her marriage was going okay. I don't know if it was him or not, but she said everything. She said she was happy. She had a surgery done. I don't know, something with her stomach, but she said things were going okay the last time I talked to her, but then she left that voicemail. She said she wanted to talk, so I don't know.
What do you think that was in reference to?
I don't know. I don't know if something happened or if things are going bad. I don't know, because I never returned her phone call.
Sure.
And like I said, it kills me. It kills me. So.
You, by chance, still have that recording, do you?
I don't.
Do you still have the same phone number now that you had
I
back
do.
then?
It's still in my phone. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. I'd have to double check, but I don't think I deleted her phone number.
But you still have the same phone number, right? You had when she went missing?
Do still have the same phone number. I do.
You mentioned, besides being depressed, you mentioned that she was lonely as well. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I don't.
She was married.
I think,
why was she?
Yeah, but she didn't really have. I know her kids loved her and whatever, and they tried to be around her and stuff, but she always isolated herself. You know what I mean? Like I think she had a really bad anxiety, and she always isolated herself from everybody. I don't know how to explain it.
And when she would isolate herself from others, how would she do that?
She wouldn't leave her house.
So she would
talk to anybody.
So she would stay at home, is what she would do by ice.
Yeah.
Did you know her to be an outgoing person, or did you know her to go out of the house, to go other places?
No, she didn't leave her house very much at all.
Okay.
At all.
So she basically was a hermit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if she had any other friends or anybody besides you?
To tell you the truth, I really don't know. I don't know who else she talked to.
How did you find out about her being missing?
Her daughter, Marcia.
Marcia, and did she call you, or how did?
I think so, or did I hear it on the news? I don't remember.
Sure. Did you know Vicky's husband at all?
I did.
Can you tell me about him?
Well, I kind of knew him just from coming in the store. When I worked at the store, he'd come in for lunch quite a bit because he used to work at McKeefe's, I believe. He seemed like a friendly guy. But also I know he drank a lot too.
How did you know that?
Well, Vicky told me that. I guess I don't know for myself, but she also thought that at one point he was having an affair on her too. So don't know if it's true, but Vicky thought that. So
Vicky thought that he was having an affair?
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
prior to her disappearance did she think that?
I don't know. Like 3-4 months before.
3-4 months? Can you
Yeah.
tell me what she told you?
Just that he was messing around on her. Didn't know who the girl was or anything, but that's all. I didn't ask questions or anything, so.
Did she volunteer that information?
Yes, she did.
Okay, but she didn't say more than, I think
No.
he's cheating around on me. This was about 3-4 months prior to her disappearance, and she didn't know who the girl was?
No.
Did she seem upset about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We stopped it, Your Honor, at 8:37. Now, Detective Aronstein. The voice on the recording that we just played, the male voice, who was that?
That's me.
And the female voice?
Sarah Youngs.
Interview that you took, or a audio call that you took in March of 2019?
That's correct.
All right. And in referring to Sarah Youngs, was that the friend that the defendant told law enforcement that Vicky had that he recalled?
That's correct.
Sergeant Aronstein, besides the searches that we've outlined and the different people that you've interviewed, during the course of this investigation, were there a series of interviews that were taken with James Prokopovitz?
There were.
Now, the jury had outlined one with you and Mary Shartner. That happened the day that Victoria went missing, is that right?
The day that defendant reported her missing, April 26, 2013.
And so if we would call that one the first interview, did you also have cause to interview the defendant? I believe the jury heard this on July 30th of 2013 with Sergeant Jim Drutson.
Yes, that one occurred at the Brown County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. So that would be what we could call the second interview. Although prior to you meeting with him, with Ms. Shartner, Christine Bilgo had also gotten some preliminary information from the defendant when she initially responded?
That's correct, and I had also briefly met with the defendant between those two occasions as well.
Okay. Your Honor, we do have the availability of a witness. Can we approach a second?
You may. As long as the last. So we're going to give you a short break, and then we're going to get you back in here. We just have to do some administrative items. Then, do you want anything on the record before we just call a recess?
I do. I'd like to.
All right, we'll go back. All right, you can be seated. Go ahead, Ms. Lemcool.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had approached the bench with counsel and Attorney D'Angelo to advise the court. The court had previously requested that the state give notice to the court and the media and anybody in the gallery at the time that we were going to be calling witness number 2. We are going to be calling witness number 2 right now. And so that's why I approached the court to find out how you wanted me to go about that. I do understand that this individual is available, and we would like to just put them on the witness stand before the jury gets called back in.
And I don't recall at the last hearing if I did ask, but I'm pretty sure I did. As an officer of the court, you represent that disclosure of his identity, either by visual or audio, would be a threat to his safety and well-being. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Mr. D'Angelo, you understand the, first of all, you've been notified of this witness, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objection to the procedure for this witness I used for the last witness, who I called witness number 1? I would use a similar procedure and call this witness number 2. Any objection?
No objection, Your
Any
Honor.
objection by the state?
No, Your Honor.
I
And
would-
I actually advised the witness that that's how you were going to do it because they wanted assurances about the privacy of their identity.
All right. We'll take a short recess and you can bring in witness number 2.
Thank you.